His name is Jared Outlaw. He's been running from the ATF and FDA his whole YouTube career. Well, he's done running. It's time for him to run his own show, The Backwoods Broadcast.
Yo, what's cracking, mother gosh dang truckers, dude? Speaking of trucks, come here and look at my freaking truck, man. It's turkey hunting season, so it's a little wild. I've been traveling all over the gosh dang place, as you can see. Got a few turkeys down this year, just got done. Using some Bondo, and forgot that it sticks, so I got some cardboard stuck on there. Apologize for that, but hey, got a few Rios down, gotta love it. Now we're going after Colorado Miriam, gotta love it as well. We got Rios here too, but more Miriams than not. I mean, we just got crap everywhere, dude. We got camo all over the place. What else we got? We got drinks, we got bow release, we're talking turkey calls, hunting tags. Come on now, need some sandpaper, but sound like shit. Yeah, hunting with the bow recently out here, and no luck yet. The other day I had them all over me, and I let one fly at one running. Didn't work out very well. Oh yeah, you know, that daddy life. This is, I always forget her name. I think it's Chloe or something like that. Got some binos, camo. Gosh dang, man. Actually, let's go to the other side. That's where the real mess is. Look at the freaking bed, man. We got, look at this, dude. Oh, snap. We got a little hand. We got turkey vest, shotgun, bow case. Come on now. This is turkey season. The truck gets a little wild. We got camera gear. We got the bow. The bow is just, oh man, this is just a great place for your bow to be. We got camo. The weather's been all over the place. Check these out, son. This is what I've been using. Usually, sometimes, turkey season, I'll just use a regular schwacker, right? This is a schwacker, okay? But you know what? I was like, I want to go a little heavy this year. And I want to go a little crazier. So I went with the Rage Turkey right there, dude. Look at that freaking thing. You got that, bro?
Yep.
That is insanity. God dang, man. I just wanted to take one freaking out. I should have just bought it off Amazon, but it was a little late for me because I was hunting most of the turkeys with my shotgun. But I was like, dude, I freaking want to hunt a turkey with one of those, you know, ones that take their freaking head off. But I checked all the stores around here. We didn't have any. Even Cabela's, Bass Pro didn't have nothing. Got the hunting cam, tripod. We're actually going to need this, ain't we, bro? Take that. Got some shotgun shells. Extra hard lead shot, son. Sniff those real good, man. About 24 years, you'll have cancer. Okay, before we start the show, last week, said I was giving away one of these boot lamps that Pop Outlaw made. I told y'all to leave me your best redneck joke in the comments below, but to keep it clean. Most of y'all kept it clean. Great jokes. I could only give away one. We've got a few more lamps. If you guys want to win them, let me know in the comments below. Actually, should we just give away another one in the comments, bro? Yeah. Let's do another one, dude. All right, this week's winner is Harry Hillbilly. The redneck joke goes, Doe walks out the woods. The doe says, I will never do that again for $2. Did you get it? He's not talking about money. Do you get it? Yeah. Oh, Harry Hillbilly. It'll be in the mail soon, dude. Just shoot me an email. We'll get your address. Gonna need your social security number, too. He's not even talking about money. Shut up! Let's freaking start the show! I've never been able to grow my own beard, so I'm just stroking my friend Tom's. Smells like salad. This is actually a double beard that I just shot recently. That one from, I think it was 2 years ago, that Miriam up there, was a triple beard. Pretty freaking cool. I think Mullet Man's birthday was yesterday as I'm filming this, and I think he shot a triple beard. That's pretty freaking cool. This is one that I just shot, and this one has got beard rot going on. If I just flick it, the beard starts falling apart. I got a freaking vidya from this hunt. I'm gonna go ahead and play it for you. I apologize because it's vertical. Had to film it on the cellular device. Didn't have Brolaw with me, so we got my good old buddy Parker filming, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. Dude, I got my striker. I forgot the slate in the truck.
Would you have a dip can?
What's that gonna do?
Give it a shot, man. Who knows?
I'm gonna need a lucky lipper first. Let's try it out. Did you hear that?
Keep going.
Did you hear that?
Keep going.
Just look. There he is. Shit. My gun. I don't even have my gun. I'm gonna just have to grab it. He's gonna run away.
Oh gosh.
Can of Joe, America's Best Turkey Gall, and a pretty damn good dip too. So if you ain't having any luck in the turkey woods, get over to canofjoe.com, outlaw.dip.com, ironsigndip.com, or chewonthisseasonings.com. All the links are in the description box below. Send you some lucks in the woods, man. You just need a little lucky lipper, son. Just because I ain't dipping nicotine no more, don't mean that I'm dipping, dude. I'm talking so freaking fast. I can't even anyways. So today's episode is going to be an interview. The first interview ever here on the Backwoods Broadcast, and we're interviewing my buddy Parker. Now, the reason why we're interviewing my buddy Parker is because he had something absolutely crazy wild happen to him during shed season. He told me about it. I thought he was joking. It all started off as a joke, and then he told me he was real serious, and he even started to cry a little bit, and I was like, dude, don't be a little bitch. And he was like, hey man, shut up or I'm gonna punch you. I'm like, dude, you're in Kansas. How are you gonna punch me if you're in Kansas? And he's like, I'll fly over there. I don't give a crap. And then he was like, and then I can't remember exactly what happened, but then I interviewed him. So yeah, enjoy this interview, and it's super professional. So I apologize. Enjoy. Is that good? Yeah. Son of a bitch. That's why they call it the Backwoods Broadcast. I made sure the title was the Backwoods Broadcast so nobody could ever give us crap about being professional. You know what I mean? All right, guys, what's going on? Here with my buddy Parker here in Kansas. We just got done turkey hunting. Successful trip in Kansas. Once again, this is we were just talking about this, 6th season with Parker. Kansas Pride Outfitters. Gotta love it. The man is a whitetail freak. I love it. A couple of his sheds sitting right here as well. Absolutely love it. But I wanted to, so we just got done turkey hunting, as you guys just saw. We were successful. And a couple weeks ago, it was a couple weeks ago, wasn't it?
It's been probably a month now.
It's been about a month, okay.
Time flies.
So not only is Parker a giant whitetail hunter, and he is the most obsessed person I know about whitetail hunting, and the best. How many 200 inches do you have under your belt? Is it the past 4 years now?
It'd be 3 years. We got a 211. I was part of a 203 and part of a 193. So can't count the 193 as a 200, but what's 7 inches?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what 7 is. But so he hit me up about a month ago, and he obviously being a freak whitetail hunter, he loves shed hunting as well. How many sheds you find this year? You found over 100, I saw.
108.
108. His shed collection is absolutely insane. We're actually in his Airbnb right now above his restaurant, which is, do you want me to say where it's at? Or?
No, that's fine, yeah.
It's in Chanute, Kansas. come check it out. The food is amazing. It's called the Outsiders Bar and Grill. They used to be over in Iola, Kansas. Now they're here in Chanute. An amazing bar and grill.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's Shauna's baby.
It is Shauna's baby. Shauna's Parker's girlfriend. I love coming down here. This is my 6th season with Parker, like I said. And from Missouri to Kansas, we've hunted all over the place with each other, and we don't stop. Now we got a lease together, and we're freaking killing it over there, literally. But back to the point, and this is a very important story that I don't even know yet because I wanted to wait until I came down here to turkey hunt to get the full story from him. But he told me so. Anyways, about a month ago, he hits me up on Instagram, and he sends me this picture. And I saw the picture and I laughed. I was like, wow, this is an amazing joke. Because I knew he
was it close to April Fools?
I think it was close to April
It had to
Fools.
have been pretty
Yeah, it was close to April Fools.
Yeah.
And it might even bet on April Fools. I don't know.
Right? Yeah.
But so he had been shed hunting. He's posting all these pictures of shed hunting. He's got all these guys coming with him. He's found over 100 sheds. And then he sends me this picture, and it was of a skull. It was of a human skull. And I thought it was a joke. And I was like, oh my gosh, dude, that's hilarious. I was like, we should film a skit like that when I'm down there. And then he's like, no, dude, this is legit. And then he goes on to tell me, just a little bit. He's like, I'll tell you more later. But anyways, I'm with the police right now, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wait, what? So I wanted to have Parker on the show. This is called the Backwoods Broadcast, and we're broadcasting from the backwoods where apparently you found a body.
Yeah.
You found bone that you did not expect, that did not look like this.
Right. It was definitely not the bone I was looking for. Let's put it that way. I was out, shed hunting like I always do. I want to tell a little bit of a backstory before I get into the actual find. Which makes, like finding a human being dead in the woods while you're looking for deer antlers, as if that's not enough. Mm-hmm. The story that, I guess, is the precursor to what happened makes it that much more what the heck, Right. So I know the Jury Boys. I follow the Jury Boys on Instagram, and I kind of grew up watching Mark and Terry my whole entire life, and I've learned a lot about whitetail and whitetail movement based off of what Mark and Terry has said, deer casts, just the whole thing, the high pressure systems, the rising moons, yada yada yada. So I'm glued to their posts most of the time. Mm-hmm. And I was just kind of scrolling through one day, and there was a photo that somebody had sent into them, and it was the upper jaw portion of a human, and it had 2 or 3 teeth on it. And I was like, that's crazy, Yeah. And you start thinking that they were out looking for sheds, and so you start thinking for yourself that's kind of crazy, Right. And I commented on the post. I was like, if that was to ever happen to me, I would probably mark it on my Onyx, get a hold of local law enforcement, and let them come to that area and maybe exhume if there's anything else around to put the puzzle piece back together.
Yeah.
Period.
Right.
Then my next sentence was, man, I'm really surprised this has never happened to me before.
Oh my gosh.
So
it was days before?
3 weeks, probably.
Oh my gosh.
3 weeks before. And then a friend of mine, him and they work for John Deere. Him and his buddy work for John Deere. And they just bought 400 acres over by where I live at. And he had found one side off of one of his shooter bucks, and he called me and he's like, why don't you come over? And, since I'm the guy that I'm the magnet to deer antlers, it seems like a lot of times it's just walking a lot of miles. I don't want to fool anybody. There's no magnets. It's just, I walk my ass off. I think I was telling you this set of Crispies I wore turkey hunting. I've got over 200 miles on them, and I bought them in January.
Yeah.
So anyways, I go over to Jamie's place, and we're walking along, and I found the other side of this deer that he's wanting to match up. And he's like, I can't believe it. We were a mile from where we found it. I was in a section of timber, and we're hee-hawing it up, and we take off walking, and like we found some like deer skulls and would like find turtle shells and stuff. And
I found a few turtle shells before, like box turtles. And,
right.
Yeah.
And like a dumbass, I make this comment. I wonder, like back in the day before they buried people, like I wonder. I said this to Jamie. I said, I wonder if like they just walked past us, like like a deer is like walking through the timber and it's like, oh, there's Fred. Like there's a buck dead. He's just laying there, and how weird is it that
Right.
And just stupid stuff, just stupid comments you make, and never give it a second thought.
Right.
And and then that happened. But here's the icing on the cake for the me finding this guy. And I don't want to say this guy. They're pretty sure it was a guy that's been missing for about 6 years, because where I found the body and where his van was like 3/4 of a mile through a section of timber. So they think that it could be him. There's, it was the skull. I'll get more into the detail of what it looked like, but they just haven't got anything back to anybody yet to say, hey, this is who this is. I know that back 2 molars were in the head of the skull. I didn't mess with it.
Yeah.
So anyways, during shed season, I shed hunt majority of my farms. Like I shed hunt the stuff I'm leasing, because I want to not only find out what survived that year, but like it's like a roadmap in the timber of like where the trails are, and you can strategically place stands based on the sign that you find while you're shed hunt.
Yep.
Not only is it something to bring home and put on the mantle and piss your wife off about, it's also like like the greatest scouting tool.
Yeah.
Like really, like they're telling you, okay, I'm feeding here, I'm bedding here, and this is the transition I'm using, and you're finding the antlers in one of those 3 places.
And sometimes you have a property for your whole life, and you have sheds of the same deer all the way from 1 to maybe 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, and I've got a buck, and Jared will get a chance to kind of go after this deer this year, because a gentleman had the land leased out by the place for a lot of years, and unfortunately he passed away around Christmas time of last year. And Shauna and I were blessed enough to know the neighbor that owned the land, and we got it leased. And there's a buck. There's several bucks out around the house that are that are always good.
Oh, yeah.
But there's one buck that he probably made a 30-inch jump this year as a what was he?
Are you talking about that?
Yeah, my buddy Ted's trying to call me. I'll call him back. He'll see this video later and probably give me a rip.
Are you talking about the Big 12?
No, this is actually a big 9. I think he's probably going to be a high 60s, low 70s class deer this upcoming year. Like he was a mid 50s this year,
9
and went from a 130s to a 150.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. It's really crazy.
Yeah. Shut up, Ted.
Shut up, Teddy. We'll get to you when we get to you. No, I'm just kidding. I'll get to you. A buddy of mine that he's a retired New York City police officer, and he comes in and hunts with us every year. But anyways, where I was going with the story, there's a company here that does concrete. I don't exactly want to say their name. I mean, it's pretty easy to figure out if you want to figure it out that much. But they distribute bagged concrete, and I might need to be corrected. And I know it's not going to be you that does it because you don't live here, but I'm just saying, like, I'm pretty sure that's what they do. Okay. And it's a huge operation.
Okay.
Well, also on top of what they do there, they buy thousands, not hundreds, like thousands of acres of land. And they have people come on and row crop it. They have people that put it in pasture. They have people that run cattle on it, so on and so forth. So I don't know what the exact number is, but I would say it's probably between 20 and 30 farms that they have. And I would go on my Onyx and I would look at specific farms, and if they had cattle on them, I wouldn't really concern myself, because you can find sheds on cattle farms, but for the most part, like, they just don't intermingle real well. Mm-hmm. So I would just, if I'm going to be walking my butt off, I want to walk my butt off in the right direction, And I was I was looking on Onyx and I found this farm and I'm like, like that looks really good. It's a huge bedding area. There's a transition and then another huge bedding area and everything around it is winter wheat.
Mhm.
So to me, I'm like, that's the bone zone, like I'm going in there and I'm finding all kinds of antlers.
Yeah.
So to get permission on this place, you have to go to the main office at the concrete place and you don't just ask for permission. You have to sign like paperwork that says, this is the farm I'm going to be on.
If I get hurt, I'm not going to sue you, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
100%. And the way they do that is you don't just automatically get permission because they own the farm. They actually have to call the guy that has the farm rights lease, whether it's for cattle or row crop or whatever. And then has to be like, yeah, it's fine for them to go on there. Well, fortunately, for the most part, not perfect, of course, but I've got a fairly good name. We own the bar and grill here in town. And so like, it's weird. Like you feed people steaks and give them a cold beer. They're your friend for a while. You know what I'm saying? So most of those people that lease their ground know me fairly well and know that I'm a pretty decent guy, And so he's like, I was sitting there and she's like, well, we just want to make sure. And they're like, yeah, like no problem. If he wants to go in there, if you find anything big, let me know type of a situation, So got permission on one farm. That's it. Out of like 30 farms.
Mm-hmm.
So just the bullseye of all of the farms that I looked at on Onyx that was owned by that company, I'm on the one and the only, the specific. Because
How big's the farm?
I think it's 160, so what, 320
Okay.
between the two farms ish, something like that. I think it's a half section, so I think that's what that is. It's
All right.
a 320.
Is it mostly timber or?
Well, it's probably 40% timber,
Okay.
and then the rest is
crop.
hay pasture, and it was in winter wheat this year. So
Okay.
what that means most of the time is they're going to put soybeans, which what they call second crop beans,
Right.
After they harvest the wheat out of there.
Mhm.
So got my permission, super excited. They gave me 2 times to go look at the farm. I got 1 chance to go because you have to tell them how many times you're going to be on the farm. So they watch you. They don't want you on there jacking around because they don't want the liability of something happening, I mean, you sign the paperwork, but at the same time, don't be an idiot.
Yeah.
So the first time I went on the far east side of the farm where most of the winter wheat was, and I walked through this section kind of, you just kind of grid search. It's kind of worrying
You're
me.
popular. Guy.
Yeah, I know.
Who is it?
It's Ted.
Ted every time?
Every time.
God dang, man. What,
I know.
If he calls one more time, you'll have to answer it. Just be like, what do you want? If it
I
ain't
know.
important, boy.
I know. He's going to be like, I don't know what he's going to be. I guess if I answer, I guess we're going to find out.
Yeah,
right?
I reckon.
So anyhow, I walked from the east side of the farm to the west side of the farm to the dirt road on the west edge. Walked all of the timber out and mainly concentrated in the winter wheat and in the timber.
Right.
There's a lot of like real good bedding grass on the west edge, but when I went in the first time on this farm, it was right before dark, so I was kind of pressured. So I wanted to kind of like hit the high spots,
Right.
type of deal, and found some antler. And that was pretty early on. And then I thought to myself, I'll go back in 3 weeks or so. And if there's anything in there that hasn't shed out, give it that much more time and I'll go back in there. But this time I'm going to enter from the west edge of the farm. So there's a double gate. I pulled in at the double gate and parked my truck, walked in. And when I walked in, I walked all the way back over to the east side. And when I walked in, at that moment, I was already 30 yards from where I ended up finding him. And still didn't see him when I walked in.
Wow.
So I walked in. I think I found like 7 sheds. Turned around, come down a fence row. Went into like this little switchgrass field. Went through some bedding. Went up into another little section of timber that had some cedars and some hedge. and they love it and that stuff. I mean, it's just like a massive bedroom to them. And there's one finger that goes back to where my truck was. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of going to the north and the east up this finger of timber. And I look up and I'm like, I wasn't like questioning what it was. Like it was 100% a human skull. Like I was like
you didn't even think it was fake or anything.
No,
you just automatically.
No,
like,
I didn't.
Yes.
I didn't. Like I didn't question it. And
what was your instant reaction?
I got sick.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get a stomach ache
because you think you would like, oh wow, dang, call the cops. You know what I mean? Like, wow, this is scary. But like, you're literally like, if it's sitting there, then nobody probably knows he or she is there.
Right.
Like you're the one who's finding them. You might be uncovering this giant mystery of wherever this person might be that went missing.
That's exactly what you're doing, honestly.
Yeah.
You know?
So all that just runs through emotionally through you. Like, yeah, that's probably what would happen to me too. Just sick to my stomach.
So what it did to me, I'm pretty good at filtering thoughts. So the first thing I did, being honest, is I sent a picture to Shauna. Mm-hmm. And she goes, you need to call the cops. And, you know, your significant other always turns into the Miss Obvious.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I've seen this on TV before. Like, I know what I'm supposed to do.
So what exactly did you find? Was it just the skull?
So at that moment in time, yes, it was just his skull, their skull. It was laying on its left side. And Jared, it was the most perfect thing, like, that you can ever think of. Like, because I'm down, like, not like on my hands and knees, but I'm squatted down. It's no less than 2 to 2.5 foot from me at this point. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, I'm not touching it. I'm just looking at it.
Yeah.
You know, just looking at this thing.
Yeah.
And I was at the back of the skull. Like I wasn't even at the facial part of it. And I'm looking at it, and there's like all of the nerves and stuff in the spinal cord that goes up into your brain where all that stuff comes from. It's like the size of a quarter. And the skull is way thicker in that area than I thought it was. Like I've always thought like a skull was like, not paper thin, but pretty thin.
Right.
Dude, it's like, it was super thick in that area. I get, God knows what he's doing when he's doing this stuff. And I just never thought like how crazy it would be to.
I just wish he would have made my brain bigger.
Yeah, right.
And other things.
Well, with a size 13 shoe, you would think that he would. But anyways, just checking this thing out, and Shauna, sent the obvious of what I needed to do. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, I said, this is what I'm going to do. So I called the landowner and couldn't get a hold of him. So I got in my truck and drove over to the house. And I'm like, hey, like, and at this point, like I'm starting to get like a giant headache, like like a lot of stress in my shoulders. Was just a really weird feeling, like that I can't explain of why.
Did you know it was an adult?
No, I thought it was either a small adult female or like a teenager.
Because of the skull size?
Yeah.
Because when you're most people say too, when you actually look at like our skulls, they look a lot smaller because you don't have all the skin and muscle, tissue and everything surrounding. So you obviously probably thought it was. And like a female, a smaller female, or
with child. You mentioning it that way, I will share like a thought that I had, which is maybe I hope it doesn't make me creepy, but it makes me human.
Yeah.
I looked at the face of this thing, and I tried to imagine emotion. Mm-hmm. Like, what did it look like? Mm-hmm. Like there was this one show, this is weird to say. There was this one show back when I was a kid. And they took pencil erasers and they put them all over this skull, like glued them all over this skull. Mm-hmm. And then they took like this putty and smeared it all over one of those erasers, and it brought everything back to life. So I'm like trying to discover, like in my mind, who am I looking at? What, like not what am I looking at, like, but who am I looking at? And anyways, went to the guy's house, told him what I had found. He's like, holy cow, like you need to get a hold of the lady.
I know her name, but the lady at.
Now, did you have any? This is how I would be.
Okay.
Did you have any? When you go to the landowner's house, are you thinking in your mind like, "Oh shit, maybe this dude knows," and like maybe if I say this to him, I might get a bullet in the head, and I might be back in those woods too. Now, my mind always goes to that.
I can see that.
But did that even go through your mind? Is what I'm asking.
And here, this is how I answer that. No, but that's how people wind up dead.
Yeah.
You know, because they don't think of those things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
But here's the crazy part. He asked me. He goes, "Where exactly did you find it?"
Mm-hmm.
So it was really easy to tell him exactly where I found it. It wasn't. It wasn't the definition of like, well, you know that one finger of timber. It was. You know where that T-post is? That's like in the middle of nowhere, and it has like that crook in the very top of it, like a cane.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah. I said 30 yards to the south of that. He goes, I put that T-post there. He said 2 years ago. He said, and on top of that, he goes, I've been by that T-post in every direction, no less than 100 times since I've had that farm.
Wow.
So think of how many times this dude's been in that general vicinity
And they
never seen it.
And they said that, and it was definitely, the skull was definitely there for like more than 5 years.
Well, if
They're
it's
thinking 6 years.
if it's the guy they think it is, it's about around 6 years, I think.
And so, what is there any body of water around there? Any inclination of why somebody would have dropped a body there? Any reason why he would have been there?
So, I hate to talk about the story a lot, not because it's not something that needs to be shared. It's just I don't know enough of the detail about it.
You don't want to assume.
Right.
anything.
There's some stuff online. It's a gentleman out of Iola, Kansas. Him and the girl he was dating were like together on a weekend. They were either at a lake or at a river, just kind of having a weekend together. And they said they kind of had a disagreement about some things, and she went her way and he went his way. So like, there's, I know the cogs are turning already in people's minds of like,
might be a Netflix show.
Yeah, right.
Everybody can make up their own minds about what the ending is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you don't sleep at night because of it. And I love those shows.
Well, I think this happened.
Yeah, Shauna does that to me all the time.
Yeah.
Like, let's watch this. I always tell her, I'm like, you're gonna murder me someday. Like,
That's what I feel like.
Shauna's gonna murder me someday if I ever come up missing.
All right. We got it on camera.
Yeah, it's all documented now.
And so, okay, you tell the landowner, and then you call the cops. I'm guessing.
Right. So I'll just tell you exactly. Called the landowner, called the lady at the business that had given me permission, and she's like, "You need to call the cops." And I'm like everybody's like, "You tell me you need to call the cops." And not to be like an ass, but like I'm calling the cops, but I'm going home. I'm taking a shower, and I'm going to lay down for 30 minutes after I let 4 Advil get rid of this gigantic migraine.
Mm-hmm.
This dude ain't going nowhere.
He ain't gone nowhere.
He's not going nowhere.
Yeah, right.
So I went home, did what I said I was going to do, took a shower, took 4 Advil, laid down, and I'm about 20 minutes into laying down, I was feeling pretty good by that point. Enough to where I felt like I could get up, get around, and give this guy a call.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my phone rings. Number I didn't know, knew it was a local number with the 620 number. And I answered. He's like, "Is this Parker Stat?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "This is Officer so-and-so." And I was like, "Okay." I said, "I'm on my way." And I'll tell you, this is funny too. He doesn't know that I know this, but this is comical. He talked to a mutual friend of ours, the cop did. He's like, "I don't know about this guy. Like, he finds this dead guy, and like now he's going home. He's taking a shower." Like, the thing you didn't understand was like, I wasn't trying to be weird about the way I handled it. Like, anybody's going to handle it probably a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But he told him, he's like, "I think you might have like went home and smoked a bowl." And I'm like, I don't even do that stuff to begin with. And I don't whatever, do it if you want to do it. But like, I'm not going to show up
Right.
knowing I'm going to meet the cop in a state where it's not even legal
Yeah.
and be high off my ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go check. I'll show you where this dude's at. Let's go.
Wow.
But anyways, I met him just outside of town. We drove down the highway there, and got on some chip and seal and drove back in and pulled in the gate. And instead of parking by the gate, I went in and pulled through the gate and drove up and jumped out. And he was behind me. And he's like, well, he goes like, show me where he's at. And I was like, all right. So I took off south down that finger of timber, and we're going down through there. And I didn't do what I said that I thought you should do when I posted on juries, but I didn't drop a pin. I didn't drop an onyx. So I was kind of like getting there and looking, and I'm pretty tall, so I'm kind of like looking above the grass, trying to figure out where this thing's at. And finally I could see it, but I was a little bit to the west of it. And when I turned to come across the west to cross the fence, there's his pelvic bone.
Wow. So you didn't even see that the first time?
No.
So all you saw the first time was the skull?
Just his skull. So then I turned in the door of the Explorer on this guy.
Yeah.
And he wasn't appreciative of that. He's like, I just need you to show me where the skull is, and like, you need to get out of here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I understand that. I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, like, I respect that. So
Swipe or no swiping?
yeah. So I'm looking at his pelvic bone, and I look and I say, there's the skull. And I turn and I'm like, and there's his femur. And that's when he's like, all right, let's get out of here. I was like, and I jokingly, not that I have no feelings towards what could have possibly have happened to this human being and why he's dead in the middle of the timber. But I try to always try to keep things on the lighter side if I can, because it helps you, I think,
Yeah, oh yeah.
function as a human being.
Uh-huh. Yeah, people take life way too serious.
Yeah,
And they feel like other people do too, and that's why they stay serious. It's always good to have somebody to enlighten them all.
But I told him, I was like, if you want to stick around, I said, I've got a shovel and some little brooms. And I was like, we'll be in here.
A six pack of beer.
I said, I learned a lot of stuff in kindergarten and first grade about, digging up dinosaurs. Like,
Wow.
but
And that was it?
yeah,
That was the last time?
yeah. And I've never been back in contact.
Mm-hmm.
So for like 3 days, I laid super low.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I was doing anything, I was like out shed hunting on other farms, but I didn't come to the restaurant. I wasn't out in public because like it blew up.
Really?
Yo, yeah. Like everybody in this whole area, because 2 days before that, they found a woman dead over in Woodson County. Some guys shed hunting found a woman dead, but I think she still had her flesh and stuff. So they found out who she was real quick. And I never did hear what happened with that situation either. But I just kind of let that thing die down, and I didn't really share my story too much, just because I wasn't really going to do nothing with the news or nothing like that. I wanted to talk to you because you and I have been buddies for a while, and I thought it would be some pretty neat content.
For real, man. I mean,
and
that doesn't happen every day, but it actually, like, looking up, like, shed hunter finds dead body, there's been quite a few over the years.
Really?
For sure. It's pretty nuts. I mean, just not like a full body. Like, it's interesting. It's interesting, like, finding the skull, the femur. You gotta wonder, like, over if it had been 6 years, or coyotes eating them, or like.
Well, I would say that's the reason why it was strung out the way that it was,
Right,
because
probably,
you know what I'm saying.
God, it's so crazy.
I think that the thing that got me the most was when you bring up the onyx of the farms, the farm the vehicle was found on, the farm I found him on, and then just the farm just to the east. Between those three farms, what's 360 and 180? 460. I'm not good at math. It's like 500 some acres. Yeah, there was probably 40 acres of timber.
Really?
So think about that. Like being out, search parties looking, people on horseback, people on foot, cadaver dogs, like the whole thing. They did it all. Wow. I did hear that his classmates, if this is who it was, and I keep talking about it like
so how old would it have been if it was that guy? Or how old would he have been if it was that guy?
I think he was in his mid to late 40s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You said his classmates?
Yeah, like they were going to do, they were going to get together and do like a big search for him out in that area where they found the van. And I think the landowners, or maybe I think it wasn't the landowners, I think it was the local police department told him, like, we don't really want to go about doing it that way because we have a lot of people we have to have land out there, and we just don't want you trespassing on everybody's land. And, you know, at the same time, it's not like you're looking for a lost dog.
Right.
You know, you're looking for somebody that, you're looking for a somebody.
You're looking for, a human being.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
And then, that's nuts. I mean, that it was on, you're talking about 3 different properties, and 10 to 15% of it is timber, and he was in there.
Yep. I had found 107 sheds at that point, and I quit looking real hard, and it took me probably.
So you're counting him as 108?
No, I'm not counting him as 108.
Sorry, that was
He might have had a drop time, but.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Man.
But it took me probably 2 weeks to get back out.
Oh, I bet.
To kind of get over the funk.
Right.
Because this is something that I spend a lot of my life doing, and I don't want something like that to like keep me from wanting to go back in the timber, you know, like maybe I do find another, I doubt I do, but maybe I do. And, you know, I think it's good to find those things because like if that was a family member of mine, that would be,
I mean, you never know. There's somebody out there who could be a family member of his or whoever it is that is just wanting answers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You see things like that all the time. Like they just don't know what happened. Like the Malaysia flight. Like nobody knows what happened to that flight and the hundreds of people that were on it. And it's like they might never know.
Right.
And it's like it's so hard for all those people because they just want to put it to rest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of, you know, in doing what I did, not on purpose, but I feel like I feel like there's purpose in everything. I feel like God has His hands in everything, and I think it's the craziest thing. You know, I told Shauna, I said I feel like I kind of prophesied a lot of what happened to me into my future of like, you know, being a turd about things of like, well, what if you drop an onyx on that, and then, or, you know, the comment I made on juries, and then the stupid comment when I was with Jamie, and I told Sean, I was like, maybe God was like trying to like tell me or prepare me, like, hey, you know the stuff you're talking about, like in a few weeks you're going to be doing exactly what you're being a goofball about.
Yeah, that's very crazy that happened.
Yeah. It is. It is crazy. I've led an amazing life, and I really enjoy doing what I do. A full-time guide here in Kansas, and I've met some of the greatest people. Jared being one of those people, and we get to share the love of the timber and the turkeys and the deer and the sheds and
the backwoods, baby.
The stories. We're definitely backwards. I don't know.
Well, I appreciate you telling that story, Parker. Hopefully we'll listen. If you guys, I know that the word spreads fast on the internet, and there might be people out there already that know this story that might be able to update us. If we hear anything from you, we'll make sure to update everybody as well.
How many times do you hear this stuff like this when just you and I are having a little conversation? Stuff gets solved.
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
Yeah,
like I remember when social media started to become a big thing, and there was people that didn't even know who their parents were, and they would post a little picture like, hey, I'm trying to find my biological mother or trying to find my biological father, and it brought millions of people together. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So the internet's a nuts place now, so you never know what's going to happen, but I'm glad we got this story out there. When you're shed hunting, keep your eyes out for more than just sheds, folks, because it can happen. And man, I just we'll keep you guys updated if we hear anything else. Thank you, Parker, for having me out once again. We'll be back out here in a couple months to set up our lease once again, and the
new lease.
Got a new lease as well, and then we'll be back out here for bow season and start flanging some freaking arrows, baby. Hope you guys enjoyed the turkey hunt. Hope you guys enjoyed that story. Now back to the broadcast. All right, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed that interview. Pretty crazy story. I know I was being silly in the beginning, but that's a real serious deal, and you know, maybe the enlightening more people on stuff like, or that story in general. Maybe some more information will be found. Maybe People will give us more information. I don't know. Hit me up in the comments. Hit me up on social media. All the social media for all the stuff I do is below. But yeah, thank you for Parker for coming on, being the first guest on the Backwoods Broadcast and sharing that crazy story with us, my man. I know I told you guys at the beginning that we're going to be giving away another boot lamp. We gave away a black one last time. I say we give away a yellow one this time. And this is what I want you to do, okay? Now, I'm a big boot guy. I love all different types of cowboy boots. Of course, we have our own cowboy boots. These are the Outlaw boots. You can get them at outlawmerch.com, outlawboots.com. Check it out. We got a lot of merch over there and stuff like that. But I want to know, and creative comments only, because, dude, if you're going to win one, I want a creative comment. What is the best exotic? How do I say this? What would be, that leaves it open, what would be the best exotic boot? Okay, I don't want to hear the norms like Cayman or snapping turtle. I want you to be creative. What is the best exotic boot? I don't know, man. I'm thinking some European squirrel or something like that. You know what I mean? Somebody comes up, man, what are those boots? That's some European squirrel suede, son. That's some squirrel suede. That's a great idea. Squirrel suede boots. We might have to go shoot a couple of reds in the backyard, if you know what I'm saying. So you guys let me know, what's the best exotic boot that you could think of? Be creative in the comments below. And then next week, we'll pick another winner. We'll announce it here on the Backwoods Broadcast and ship you out some boots. I hope you guys enjoyed the Backwoods Broadcast. My name is Outlaw and I'm out, y'all. Get off your gosh dang phone, computer, tablet, any type of technology you are on right now, and get outdoors and breathe in that fresh air and start living, baby. My name is Outlaw and I'm out, y'all. Already said that. Actually, let's throw it back real old school. Live to thrill. Holla, y'all. I love you. I'll edit at that. I just wanted to keep going because I love you guys so much.
Science over. Click on one of these pictures to continue your adventure. Y'all come